Dr. Gregory, thank you for agreeing to talk to me.
I know, with everything that's happened, that it might be a bit difficult for you to recall the whole incident. And I am truly sorry to have to ask you to relive that horrible encounter. But I do need to ask you a few questions. Because what I'm looking at now is the real motive behind this. You see, I think there's more to it than somebody just wanting to make you feel as if you were a clone. Now, we have interviewed a number of ex-employees from your laboratory, and we've also interviewed members of anti-cloning protest groups. And none of this has left me with anything strong enough for me to charge somebody with kidnapping. Now, that leads me to two possibilities. One is past students who may bear you a grudge, and the other one, people on hospital waiting lists, awaiting organ donors for life-changing surgery, who may have felt resentment that you had access to saving your family and close loved ones whenever you saw fit while they had to wait. And Dr. Gregory, I'm really sorry about this, but that's why I do have to ask you about your son, Adam. I understand he had a heart condition.
Yes. Yes, that's right. Adam had serious problems with his pulmonary artery, coupled with various infections streaming through to his mitral valve, which made it very difficult to treat him. But as I have said many times, Adam was not a clone.
Okay, Dr. Gregory, can you explain that to me? Because you see, there's something that's really interesting about this. Now, your son, Adam Gregory, was pronounced dead at St Gibbons Hospital on the 13th of January 2010.
Yet in this newspaper article with a photograph dated the 28th of June 2010, your son, Adam Gregory, appears to be very much alive.
Do you have children, Detective?
No, I don't.
Well, you may not understand this, but when you do have children, I assure you, you will do everything in your power not to have to watch them die. I cloned some cells from Adam in order to develop an organ to replace the one that was preventing blood from flowing freely to his heart. I'm a doctor. I took an oath to preserve life, and that's precisely what I was doing.
I do understand that, but Dr. Gregory, I'm sure that must have caused a lot of resentment amongst people on the waiting list, awaiting organ donors for life-changing surgery.
I don't know where you're going with that. Are you asking me whether I know that there were a specific person or persons who were strongly opposed to my work? Then quite possibly there were, but your guess is as good as mine.
What I'm trying to do, Dr. Gregory, I'm trying to gain some grounding, some insight into the person or people behind this. Now, I think it was possibly somebody who had such deep-rooted resentment against you and against the health service over the fact that he or she had to wait, whereas you could choose to clone what you needed when you wanted it. That type of bitter anger then filled them with so much resentment that they decided to kidnap you and subject you to that sort of ordeal.
And that is one of the reasons why I took matters into my own hands. Adam had a very rare blood group, and that, coupled with the need to find a heart donor, meant it was impossible to treat him in the time that we had. So I watched my son die. I froze his body until such time as I could use the cloned cells to develop an organ that would support the vessel that allowed blood to flow freely through to his heart. And I succeeded. I brought my son back to life. And that would be when you saw the photograph in July. But within a few days, the organ began to deteriorate, and I had to watch my son die all over again. But I went through the whole process again, and this time I made extensive tests to discover the cause of the failure, and I think I did. But then I had to decide whether it was right to bring back my son to life a second time, and to put the whole family through that ordeal again with only a chance of success. I decided not. I let him go. But you want to know why I was kidnapped and who kidnapped me? I have absolutely no idea.
All right, sir. Okay, Dr. Gregory. Thank you. I'm going to leave it there for now.